We're making more mini cakes. My name is Lori and you are watching The Icing Artist. To make mini cakes, we're gonna need some mini pans. So I just poured my vanilla cake batter into these little half sphere pans. I did it with a piping bag so they didn't go pouring all over the place because they're tiny. Once they're baked, I just pop them out of their cake pans and leveled off that cake hump. They do not take long to bake because they're so tiny, which is kind of nice. First up, I'm gonna make a turtle because I've been dying to make a turtle for forever. Now, I don't know if you guys have tried making mini cakes before, but if you try to ice a really tiny cake, they just go sliding around the cake board. So I use a just shish kebab skewer. I stick that through the cake into the cake board, and that holds it in place so that way I can ice it smoothly. Once you're done crunching the cake, you can just pull out that skewer, smooth off the top, and you're good to go. Now, I know some of you guys out there have not subscribed to this channel, so if you have not, please hit that red subscribe button down below and ring that notification bell so you guys know when I put up new content. For the turtle shell, I thought I would cover it in a brownie kind of murky green colored fondant because that seemed turtle-like. The nice thing about spheres is they are so easy to cover because there's not really any edges. You just drape it over, smooth out with your hands, and then you can cut off that excess fondant. I found these cute little cake boards that I thought would work perfect for underneath these mini cakes. That way we can move our mini cakes around easily. I'm gonna make his head out of a lime green fondant and just kind of stick that on with some water. For his smile, I saw this on another cake and I loved it. I always use like a circle color to impress the smile, and it's kind of lacking luster. Like, it just doesn't do it for me. But if you add two little dots, I feel like it connects it and makes it seem more purposeful and not like you're lazy with the smile. I just molded his flippers out of the same colored fondant. Did you guys know that sea turtles actually have flippers instead of feet because they use them primarily for swimming through the water? Even on the beach, they're using their flippers like wings, like a bird, to kind of crawl through the sand. Cut cute clips of turtles. Next, to create that shell pattern on my turtle, I'm just gonna use a really tiny hexagon cutter and use a contrasting shade of green and cut out those and layer those up into kind of a pattern on top of the turtle shell. Then add some little dots onto his flippers and head. I'm gonna make the cutest eyes using white, brown, and black fondant and just cutting out little circles and layering them up. This turtle seriously has Squirt from Finding Nemo vibes. Oh my gosh, that is one of my favorite characters from that movie. I like that we're kind of bringing him out in this cake. Next up, we're gonna do a hippopotamus, and because I need some purple in my life and in this video, especially the thumbnail, we're gonna make him purple. And kind of a chunky hippo, so I'm gonna use two half spheres and glue those together using just some buttercream icing layering in between. But I'm gonna carve off the bottom of one of those so it keeps from wobbling around on me. I always use this little fondant tool as my mini spatula when I'm making mini cakes. It's definitely not meant for icing, but that's okay. We're gonna make it work. I'm just gonna cover that with some purple fondant, and unlike the turtle, which is the easiest half sphere shape to cover, spheres are very challenging. You just wanna kind of pull out your fondant with your hands and then tuck in. And the trick is to just keep pulling it out and kind of tucking in with your hands and pulling out and pushing it in so it gets it nice and tight underneath the cake, and you just kind of start trimming off the excess and keep tucking it in. You don't wanna trim off too much because then you're gonna end up with a cake that has a missing chunk of fondant around the end. For the face, I'm just gonna do this out of some oval cutters. So I've got a thicker oval and a thinner oval. I'm just gonna kind of cut those and piece those together. And then just add two nostrils and some other details. Am I the only one that cringes at that word? Ears are so easy. I'm just gonna cut out two little circles, pinch the one end together and cut out the excess. I feel like this makes the cutest, easiest ears. Now it's time to assemble that face on the cake and just use some water to glue all the pieces together. For its legs, I'm just gonna roll out a log of fondant and then cut that on an angle so it sticks right and nice underneath that round cake. And then use a piping tip to add some little toes on. I am not gonna give this hippo tail because this is a clean, innocent hippo. I know what you other hippos do with your tails.
Yeah, I got that on video.
Not on this channel. This is a family channel. I have made so many mini cakes. If you guys want to see that full playlist, I will leave a link right here. Just click the little eye. Next up, we are going to make my most requested cake, a panda cake, because I live to please. I can make this one really chubby and round as well, so I'm going to prepare my cake the exact same way as I did my hippo and get it ready to cover in my white fondant. I'm gonna lift that up and put it right onto that little cake board. For this one's eyes, I'm going to cut that out of 3 different size circles. I'm gonna do black and then white and then black again. For the big black circle, I'm just gonna use my fingers to kind of stretch it out a bit so it's kind of like a wonky oval, and then layer up the rest of the circles on top of that with some water. Add its ridiculously tiny nose and mouth. And stuff like this just makes me want to pretend that this is a regular size cake and I'm just like a giant trying to make a regular size cake because my hands look huge next to all of these little details. For its legs, I'm gonna make them very similar to the hippo by just rolling out the log, cutting that at an angle, except for the foot part, I want it to be more flat, so I can glue on all these pink little circles. And for his arms, I'm just gonna use a really thin log of fondant and flatten out the one end for his paw and wrap those around some what is supposed to look like bamboo shoots. I love making mini cakes. I am obsessed with these. I feel like these are a lot more detailed than the other mini cakes I made, but I wanna know, do you guys wanna see more mini cakes? And if so, what would you like me to see next? Leave a comment down below and let me know if you guys really like this video and wanna see more like that. Give it a thumbs up, and of course, don't forget to come back here again next week because we will be making something else in a cake. Bye guys.